Hi, I'm Brett Ullman. Welcome to Parenting, Navigating Everything, the channel where we equip and empower you as a parent to navigate all aspects of parenting in this modern culture we live in today. If this is your first time coming to this series, it's actually a 5-part series on the idea of a new narrative. So I'll link above the first one. This is actually the second video. We're actually looking at social media today. The first one was on phones. The whole idea is that we need a new narrative. Educators, parents, all of us need a new way to think about these conversations with our kids, because we seem to be kind of telling our kids what to do and not teaching them how to make good decisions and how to actually become people we can release out into the world once they become adults. So today we're going to look at changing the narrative around a huge topic that parents ask me almost more than anything else, the idea of social media. And too often, parents don't have a lot of basic concepts of even these apps and what they do and what they're used for. Snapchat is not just used to send naked photos. It's actually probably the #1 app that students use today to communicate back and forth. How can we properly parent if we don't even understand what kids are using apps for and what they're not? So I polled a lot of students and I asked, how do your parents talk to you about social media? And this is what they said. Are you on Snapchat again? It's stupid. A lot of them said, my parents tell me to grow up. It's a waste of time. We could list dozens of other statements, but they're all the same. They're all these off-the-cuff statements or comments with no teaching. So here's the new narrative. How about we talk about anxiety and depression increase? Now, please do not be one of these sky is falling, kind of like the nursery rhyme parents that send around emails and messages on social media like 5 apps you have to delete. Like if you have these apps, there is some grave danger to having them and you're a bad parent if your kids have them on their phone. I've seen many in the last few years that focus around how anxiety and depression come from smartphones. They all seem to say that all depression, all anxiety today is from smartphones. And this is just 100% not true. It is actually offensive for people like me who do struggle with anxiety and other mental health issues and disorders. Mental health is not all from smartphones, but I would say that there is roughly a 30 to 40% increase in the last decade, roughly since the iPhone and smartphones came out, that I think we can attribute to how phones are slowly changing us. We can talk about bullying with our kids. This is the anonymity that our kids think of on the internet, where people hide behind profiles and fake profiles and say things that they would never say to a person to their face. I also think that online we have lost any basic sort of normal discourse, even just decency. Debate is good, but usually online just quickly falls into name calling. How about the term FOMO, fear of missing out? This is the concept that many students, even when they're in a group of friends, are online seeing what other people are doing. They miss out on what is actually happening right in front of them to live life kind of and worry about what other people might be doing, the fear of missing out. We can talk to students about feeling less than. I was at a university once and asked the audience, how many of you feel less than after you're on Instagram? It was a room full of young women and basically every hand went up. We are looking at curated photos where people sometimes spend hours to get the right shot. Then if the shot doesn't get enough likes or comments on social media, it's actually then deleted. This is not real life. How about the idea of stopping the infinite scroll? We have gotten into the scroll where we just are aimlessly scrolling through social media posts and we lose time. We can talk about isolation and loneliness. With people going out less and being part of their phones more, we are now seeing a growth in isolation and loneliness. These things are perfect places where we see addictions grow. We have to be careful not to isolate ourselves. And this is not alone, like they're not in this alone, right? We can talk to our teenagers that we're struggling in these conversations because we have the exact same struggles with our phones, our technology. It's okay to acknowledge that and work together to get better in how we interact with technology, in this case on social media, better. These are conversations I find kids will talk about. I'd love to hear how these new narrative conversations on social media go with your kids. The next video blog will be changing the narrative around the conversation on TV and movies. I'll talk to you soon.